I'm about to teach you how to make the most delicious and crazy soft sourdough, pumpkin and maple cinnamon rolls. I think these are better than regular cinnamon rolls. Even though it seems like a seasonal flavor combination, I will be making these all year long. Even my husband agrees, and he doesn't even like pumpkin. If you bring pumpkin pie to a party, he won't eat it. He doesn't like it, but he really likes these cinnamon rolls. So let's just get started. Let me teach you how to make these. And trust me, you can do it. This recipe may seem complex, but it is beginner friendly. Just follow along, all right? Here we go. To kick things off, we're going to start the evening before by making a sweet sourdough starter. To do that, we need 25 grams of a healthy starter, and we're going to feed it 25 grams of sugar or honey, 65 grams of warm water, and 85 grams of bread flour. The sugar in this feeding really helps cut back on tangy and sour flavors in our final bake. That's going to ferment on the counter overnight. And here we are the next morning. Our starter is peaked. Let's make our Tangzhong, which is 175 grams of whole milk, whisked together with 35 grams of bread flour, and we're going to heat this in 30-second intervals in the microwave or on the stovetop over medium heat until this mixture is 150 degrees Fahrenheit, and it will thicken almost like a gel-like consistency. Do not skip this. This is the power behind the softness in these cinnamon rolls. It makes them super light and fluffy. There's a lot of science that goes into that. There's a whole blog post on my website about Tangzhong that you can check out if you want more information. To make our dough, we need 25 grams of cool water, 1 egg, all of our Tangzhong. Make sure the Tangzhong is fully cooled down. I stick it in the fridge for about 20 minutes to help speed that up. All of our sweet starter, we're going to add our extracts, which is maple extract and vanilla extract. Highly recommend the maple extract. It's worth the purchase. Half a can of pumpkin puree and 515 grams of bread flour. I'm using the Central Milling ABC flour, which is just like the Costco AP flour. Our cinnamon and pumpkin pie spice and salt. Then we're going to mix this at a medium-low speed in our stand mixer just until all the ingredients are combined, and then I increase the speed slightly and let it keep going until it's nice and smooth and strong. This is not smooth and strong. I'm just showing you the lumpy texture. It's not ready yet. It's like a third to halfway there. We need to keep mixing in the stand mixer until it's smooth and shiny on the surface. And you can also do a check for a window pane, which is stretching the dough very thin, like I am doing here, until you can see the light shine through. It's a good sign of strength. So once we're to that point, we can go ahead and add our butter. I do this at a medium-low speed, 1 pat at a time. For this amount of butter that we're adding, I usually do 4 pats. And I just slowly add them one after the other. Depending on your stand mixer, you might have to help it out a little bit by stopping it and kind of rotating the dough with a spatula or increasing your speed to medium-high for like 10 seconds just to really whip things around. But either way, we need our butter fully incorporated and the dough should be super smooth and soft and supple. This is a really lovely dough. If it's not, there's troubleshooting tips in my post. Likely you just need to adjust how much flour or liquid is in your dough. So once our dough is finished, I am using the Broad & Taylor proofing box to keep my dough in a warm, controlled space. But there are plenty of other options. You can start your oven and then turn it off for a warm environment. You can put a cup of boiling water in your oven or your microwave. Whatever you need to do, there's lots of tips for this in my post below, but a warm spot for like 3 or 4 hours, and that'll get our dough to increase in volume a little bit and get really puffy. And that's all we need to do for our first rise. Not a ton. We're saving a lot of that rising power for the overnight proof, where our rolls are going to do the majority of their rising. So this goes in the fridge until bedtime. Here we are at bedtime making our filling, which is just a mixture of butter, brown sugar, cinnamon, pumpkin pie spice, which I make my own pumpkin pie spice, but you can also purchase it from the store or just do individual ingredients like ginger, allspice, nutmeg, that kind of thing. And then some pumpkin puree. The pumpkin puree is a really nice addition into this filling. It makes it really very smooth and spreadable, and also just adds, of course, some more pumpkin flavor. So we are generously flouring our surface, dumping out our chilled dough. That's why I put it in this rectangle container instead of a bowl. It's a lot easier to roll a rectangle into a larger rectangle or square than going from circle to square, if that makes any sense. Anyway, I kind of rotate the dough upside down and then back again to make sure that all the flour is evenly distributed and that nothing is sticking to the counter. And I have found the more that I make cinnamon rolls, I think a square is actually the ideal shape here. I used to do a rectangle because that's just what I've always seen. But I think when you do it into a square and then make 12 cinnamon roll strips, you get a thinner, more squat cinnamon roll that's wider, and it fills up the pan a lot better. And you don't get thinner, taller cinnamon rolls that end up kind of toppling over. So square is the way to go, I think. I did trim off the edges just for aesthetics. You don't have to do that. You can have some wonky looking cinnamon rolls. It'll be fine, but for the videos, for the sake of the video, I decided to kind of clean it up a little. We are spreading our filling through the entire cinnamon roll, all the way from left to right down to the very bottom. We're just leaving like a 1/2 inch to 1 inch at the very top. And of course it's cut off on the darn camera, I'm sorry, but there's a little strip at the very top that we are not putting filling on so that the roll seals to itself and the filling's not in the way. Use a pizza cutter or a pastry wheel like I'm using here to cut the sheet in half, and then cut each half in half again to make 4 equal sheets. If you're following the recipe card on my blog, I have cut marks like 1 5/8, 3 1/4, 4 7/8 for every single cut if you want to measure each cut. If not, you can eyeball it. Of course, just cut in half, cut each half in half, and then each one of those quarters into 3 even ones, and you'll end up with 12 cinnamon rolls. You can be as fussy or as just go with the flow with this as you want. Some people want to have perfectly even cinnamon rolls. Others just want to do it as quick as you can. It's totally up to you. You can't see it in the frame, but I took a little bit of heavy cream or half and half or milk. Any of those are fine to just brush on the very top edge where there's no filling to help the roll seal to itself. I'm putting these shaped cinnamon rolls in a lightly greased USA baking pan. I actually prefer the 9x13, but this is the one that was clean. Either one is fine. This one is technically 10x16. Do as I say, not as I do. I forgot to take these out of the fridge last night. I shaped them early, which you can do, and then stick them back in the fridge, but you have to set a timer to put them back out on the counter before you go to bed. And I forgot. So here I am this morning. I took them out of the fridge. With the longer fermentation time in the fridge, they might have a sour flavor profile. If you like that, this is an option. Refrigerate your shaped rolls overnight and then let them rise the next day. But these now have to sit on the counter. I don't recommend putting the shaped cinnamon rolls in a proofing box at a very warm temperature because the filling and everything will start leaking. It already actually is a little bit, and this is normal. Don't panic if you see a little bit of that. It will bake right back into the rolls, so don't worry. But it will be excessive if these get too hot because all of the butter will melt out. Weird things will happen. So keep it at room temperature. My house is like 74. Why am I looking at my watch? Okay, it says 75, but it's probably about 74 in here. And yeah, I'll come back in 10 to 12 hours and these should be bake ready. So my schedule's a little off, but it's okay. It's okay. Set a timer. If you follow the recipe as written, unlike me in this video, when you wake up in the morning, your rolls will be perfectly proofed, filling up the pan, ready to bake. I like to pour some half and half or heavy cream on top before baking. It really helps moisten them, and it also creates a nice gooey bottom. If you warm that half and half or heavy cream slightly, it helps prevent curdling. Right here, I am making a maple wash, which is melted butter, maple syrup, a little bit of maple extract, and a pinch of salt. You brush this onto your hot cinnamon rolls right when they come out of the oven, and it helps with moisture, and it also adds more of that maple flavor that I just think is divine. Don't skip it. It is time to make our frosting. This frosting is so easy. I just use a hand whisk, but you could use beaters, hand beaters if you prefer, or you could do it in a stand mixer. You need 28 grams of butter. It's about 2 tablespoons. Also, I am finding that Kerrygold butter or just a European style butter performs a lot better, like significantly better. It can make or break recipes. So if you're gonna invest the time in something like this that's got a lot of butter in it, I really, really, really cannot overstate, buy the European style butter. Kerrygold, I think Village Farms, the one from Costco, Plugra. There's a whole bunch of different brands, and I'll put more information about that in the description below. But I'm getting feedback from people that they're doing a recipe with European style butter and then with American butter, and the American butter one is ruined because it has a lower fat content, higher water content in the butter, whereas the European style butter one was perfect. So just something to keep in mind, little troubleshooting thing. If something goes wrong and you don't know why, it could be the butter. All right, and then 170 grams of cream cheese. It's almost the whole pack, so you can save the rest for your bagels. 20 grams of maple syrup. I am adding 1 teaspoon of maple extract to this frosting or icing. But if you don't have maple extract and you're not including it, double the actual maple syrup in this icing. I tested that one of my first rounds when I didn't yet purchase maple extract, and it was great. Didn't ruin the consistency or anything, and it'll give you the appropriate maple flavor. And just salt. Then we're gonna whisk this up before adding our powdered sugar. Another thing about the butter you're using is European style butter softens and melts a lot better than American style butter. So if you are using a cheaper butter that has a higher water content, you might find that you really do better with hand beaters. This European style butter just softens like butter. I don't know. It does make a difference. Okay. And to this, we're gonna add 200 grams of powdered sugar. You can sift it or you cannot sift it. I usually can't be bothered, but lately I can be bothered. I don't know, don't ask me why. It ensures that no lumps of powdered sugar are stuck in your icing. It's very smooth. So you just decide if you are willing to do this extra step, because it does take an extra couple of minutes. All right. And we're gonna whisk that in, and then this is done. If you want, you can add a little vanilla extract as well. I just try to keep things simple with just the maple extract, but if you don't have the maple extract, I think a little vanilla would be good in here. And it just takes a minute. It looks like you have way too much powdered sugar, but as you work it around, the consistency will be perfect and it'll be a nice spreadable cinnamon roll icing. Something else you could do if you want is you could add more pumpkin pie spice or cinnamon to the icing. Again, I just didn't want to try to pack too much in here, but it's very customizable in terms of what extracts you're using and any spices you want to add. Okay. There's our beautiful icing. It's the perfect cinnamon roll consistency, not too thick, not too runny, but spreadable. So it holds its shape, but it also spills over the sides of the cinnamon rolls. So good. Please buy the maple extract. Please, if you can afford it, please purchase it. It makes a huge impact. It's so good. So my schedule got all weird and I ended up forgetting to put the cinnamon rolls back out before bed. So then I ended up proofing them during the day and baking them in the evening. And last night I was too tired to film this conclusion. So I just popped them back in the oven at 325 for like 5 minutes just to get them nice and warmed up again. They're not as squishy as when they came out of the oven, but these are really soft. The Tangzhong in there really helps give it softening properties so that when you dig into it, it's like squishy. Oh. So I'm debating, should I ice them all or take one out and ice the one? I think I'm gonna ice them all. You might wanna consider storage before you ice. Technically, cream cheese is not supposed to be left at room temperature. We never followed that rule as a kid, but I feel a certain responsibility to let you know that so you can decide for yourself. As a kid, we just left the cinnamon rolls on the counter with foil on top, whether it had cream cheese icing on it or not. And that's what I've done my whole life. If you want to do things properly in terms of food safety, you can store these on the counter. If you don't ice them, you would have to keep the icing in the fridge and then just warm it up when you're ready to have a cinnamon roll. If you do want to ice all of them, you're going to want to keep this whole thing in the fridge. And the downside to that is the fridge speeds up staling. So your cinnamon rolls won't stay nice and squishy and soft for quite as long, but it's totally up to you. I plan to give all of these away, except for maybe one. I'll indulge in one, but oh my gosh. I have been making a ton of sweet sourdough things. If you've been around for a little bit, you know I'm constantly recipe testing. So yeah, we give a lot away. Also, this icing is not pipeable. I tried piping it once, it's a waste of time. Just spread it on nice and messy like it looks homemade. If you try to pipe it, you'll just end up with a big mess and you'll wonder why you didn't just use a spatula in the first place. This does make a lot of icing in my opinion. The majority of recipe testers said this was the perfect amount of icing, and a smaller percentage said that they would reduce it by about 1/4, and about the same percentage of people said they would increase it a little bit. So you know yourself, how much icing do you like? It's easily scalable. Just multiply the ingredients by 1.25 if you want to increase it by 25%, or 0.75 if you want to decrease it by 25%. Okay, I could screw around with this forever. It's like painting. When do you stop? And no bit left behind. If life gets in the way or you mess up a step or forget to take it out, whatever, it's easily solvable. The fridge is your friend. It helps you pause things, but just keep in mind the longer you keep this in the fridge, the more sour that your cinnamon rolls are gonna be, just naturally. I'm dying to dig into one. I do wish these just came out of the oven, but it's okay. Like I said, they hold up very, very well. Oh my gosh. I love the gooey bottom, the heavy cream, or half and half, whichever one you use. I was out of half and half, so I used heavy cream and it didn't seem to make any difference. So either one is fine. Oh my gosh, it's just so squishy. Oh, it's so fluffy, nice and gooey. It's so soft. It is just, I think this is better than regular cinnamon rolls. That pumpkin and maple flavor combination to me, of course, sounds like fall, but I will make these all year long. This flavor profile is just delicious. Oh. Just trying to show you. Okay, the only thing about this that I would change is they are sour, but that's my own fault because they spent too long in the fridge. I prepped the stiffs, or I prepped the sweet starter on Sunday night, and here we are Wednesday morning with these cinnamon rolls, so it's no wonder. But I kind of like it. I don't know, it's a little different to have tangy cinnamon rolls. Not ideal, but the way the recipe is written, if you follow it, they should not be tangy or sour at all, so. All right, go forth and make maple and pumpkin cinnamon rolls with your sourdough starter. Enjoy, happy baking.
A few moments later.
One thing I forgot to mention is giving them away. If you want to give them away, I bought a couple things to do that. These are individual. You can fit one cinnamon roll in here, which is good if you're giving to like your kids' teachers. You can send one to each class, you know. They're a pain in the butt though to put together. It does take some time, you gotta assemble it. These are brand new, never opened, but it sounded like from the reviews that the assembly is really fast. Someone said they can assemble it in like 5 to 10 seconds, and I'm like, well, it's way faster than those. Plus this one fits 4 cinnamon rolls, I think. Oh yeah, that's better. This is better. This is way better. It just pops up. If it stays though, how do you? Like that. I'm not good at stuff like this. Okay. Oh, that part needs folded. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. So to give these away, this cardboard seems like it's not super thick, which is fine. I'm just using it to give them away. And the price on these was pretty good, I think. I'll put the link in the description if you also are interested in giving away cinnamon rolls, but I would line it with parchment. I just got this parchment paper. I always buy the King Arthur one, but I've been hearing a lot of people say you should really buy unbleached parchment paper, and I agree. So I ordered this one from Amazon, and it's good. It's on the thin side, but that hasn't been an issue yet. So far so good. Load them up. Oh my gosh, they're so gooey and soft that it is hard to get them out. It's a good problem to have. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Woo. Oh my gosh, yum. These are so good. And then you just, whoop. Perfect for gifting. Yeah, I like that one. I like how much faster it is. That one's a pain. All right, well, there you have it. Sorry, that was an encore, I guess. Okay, now I say happy baking.